The officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Alright guys, well let's get right into it. Joe Cordina admits Edward Vazquez was better than he expected. The IBF junior lightweight titleist from Wales had a much tougher than expected inaugural title defense against Fort Worth, Texas's Vazquez last Saturday night at Casino de Monte Carlo, Monte Carlo. After 12 rounds of back-and-forth action, Cordina won a narrow majority decision with scorecards that read 116-112, 116-112, 114-114. Open quote, "It wasn't my best performance, but it still got the job done," Cordina told BBC 5 Live Boxing. "He didn't hurt me at any point, nothing was happening, so I felt like I just had to ignite something. It probably wasn't my best idea. Don't make excuses, you lost the fight. End of story. I beat 2 champions back to back. Come on, man. You need to give me my flowers." Subconsciously, it just felt like I wasn't fighting all today. I've seen him fight. He's awkward. He's better than I thought. You can't win a fight looking like that. Look at my face and look at his face. I've got not one mark on me. I'm happy. I got a win against a good fighter with a bad performance. Close quote. Cordina, 17 wins, 0 losses, 9 by way of knockout, won his IBF title originally in 2022 by scoring a sensational knockout of the titleist Kenichi in a second round. But Cordina was stripped of his title later that year due to an injury that prevented him from making a mandatory title defense against Rakimov. Rakimov won the vacant belt by defeating Zelfa Barrett, which set up Cordina's fight with Rakimov this past April, which Cordina won by split decision to regain his title. A visibly disgusted Vazquez tried to stay positive during the post-fight interview, but couldn't help but feel aggravated by the decision. Open quote, "You know what? I have strong faith. God put me here for a reason," Vazquez said. "There's no coincidences. I'll be back. Everyone watching knows I won. They did it to me again. You know what? I'll be back, man. Everyone in this building here, everyone watching around the world knows I won. Eddie Hearn knows I won. But guess what? They did it to me again. But they can't stop that Fort Worth kid." Close quote. Guys, how'd you have that fight? I think we only had Cordina up by 1 round. I mean, some people did think that it was Vazquez's fight. It was too close for comfort. Definitely too close for comfort. But what we do want to put into perspective is O'Shaquie Foster had a very, very tough fight, but he was able to finish that fight off in the last round. After seeing both O'Shaquie Foster and Joe Cordina fight back-to-back weekends, how do you think a fight will look between them? We hope that that's the only fight that's going to come next. Unify the titles. O'Shaquie Foster has the WBC, and of course, Cordina has the IBF. So, guys, how do you think a fight between Cordina versus O'Shaquie Foster would look like? They're both with Matchroom, so it is fairly easy to make. And you know what? After both of their fights, it might draw a larger crowd than Eddie might expect. So we would definitely love to be tuned in. We thought O'Shaquie Foster's performance was pretty impressive. It was impressive finish. It was definitely an impressive finish. Rocky was getting the best of O'Shaquie during that fight. I mean, O'Shaquie was down going into the 8th round. Big time he was down. And he needed a knockout. That was the only way he would have won. But he knows how to execute. He knows how to execute. Now with Cordina, I don't know if Cordina smelled that there might have been an upset going on, or if Vazquez was taking the rounds that the judges saw. But there was like no sense of urgency towards the end of it. Just like kind of complacent with cruising to a win, which it wasn't a cruising situation. But guys, what did you think about Joe Cordina's win this past weekend? What did you think about O'Shaquie Foster's win last weekend? And what do you think a fight will look like between Joe Cordina and O'Shaquie Foster? Let us know in the comments below. All right, guys, let's get right into it. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. Janibek Alimkanila seldom forgets anything. Carlos Adames didn't have the sort of success at 154 pounds that many believed he would. When he was given a chance to fight for an interim world title in 2019, he was dropped and lost convincingly against Patrick Teixeira. Since then, Adames packed his super welterweight bags and headed to middleweight division. So far, so good, as he racked up 5 consecutive wins, 4 coming via stoppage and an interim title. Now, with at least a secondary strap sitting on his mantle, Adames believes he's ready to take on the big boys. Although Adames has proven that he's new and improved fighter at 160, Janibek simply isn't buying it. Open quote, "You were knocked out at 154 pounds, said Janibek on his social media account. You are easy work for me. Everyone knows this." Janibek's words were a bit erroneous considering that Adames was dropped, not stopped, against Teixeira. It may have taken a bit of time, but Janibek is getting exactly what he's wished for. He recently annihilated Gualtieri and ripped away his IBF crown in the process. Currently, he's the only fighter in the middleweight division with 2 world titles in his possession. I think Janibek wants to add to his belt collection. Once of all 4 straps belonging to him, he plans on moving up immediately. Unfortunately for Adames, his secondary title doesn't fit the mold. With that said, the 30-year-old is warming up to the idea of fighting him. He still doesn't believe it would be a competitive matchup between them, but could be on the verge of taking place. Open quote, "You know I can knock you out easily. If you are a man, keep your words." Close quote. All right, guys, well, there you have it. What do you think about Janibek versus Adames? Sounds like Janibek is warming up to it because he's never said anything like keep your word or anything like that. He's just completely dismissed Adames. So this is the first response to Adames that actually seems like it's going to be a positive thing for the fans here. We might be able to see a fight, and we know it's going to be a good fight. Janibek thinks that Adames is easy work. Adames is confident that he'll beat up Janibek. So, guys, who do you think would win in a fight, Janibek or Adames? Let us know in the comments below.